Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of... I almost said NXT. I don't know what the hell's going on. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm your host, James Boyd. And with me, I have the regular, tried and true Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Just ready to talk about all this wrestling. And, we're here a day later as what is becoming a kind of a custom on these pay-per-views, because it seems like just at the night of the show, it's like, I'm good. I just want to go to sleep. But, yeah. We are here. Lots of good stuff to talk about, actually, this week.
Yeah. Let's start at the top of the big show from yesterday, NXT Takeover Portland. This is, the normal NXT Takeover that you would get at Royal Rumble, but they moved it away, and they moved it to the middle of February against the All-Star Game, because fuck us, fuck this particular podcast specifically.
It was pretty much a shot from us, and hearing all the great reviews that the All-Star Game got, you know what? I kind of feel bad. I kind of wish I won the All-Star Game. There was no way for us to know that, though, because they did the goofy format that turned out to actually be something worth a damn, from everything I'm hearing. But
yeah, like I end up at the end of the show looking at my phone and seeing that Chris Paul caught an alley-oop, and I was like, wait, what?
What year is this?
I was like, I don't recall him doing that since he was like a Clipper. So that's all right. But yeah, anyway, getting back to it. The overall thoughts on the show before we go match by match.
I thought it was a really good show. You look at different corners of the internet, and you're going to get varying opinions on what NXT is, simply because that's like the formula of NXT. You know exactly what you're getting, but I think if you're just going match by match, we got like a lot of really good matches. Some of the stuff, is the stuff that people always bring up about NXT, is like when the main events go too long and stuff like that. But if you can put that out of your head, I think you still got a really good night of wrestling. And I think, guys that look better going out, like Keith Lee, I think Rhea Ripley picked up a big win. I think she's catching some heat right now from some folks, but and the match really kind of stuck with me. I liked it until she just became stupid. Was the street fight with Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai? I thought they majorly impressed before that. The booking came in, but I like the show a lot.
Yeah, I'm getting really fucking annoyed and frustrated with like the internet for being fucking idiots. I'm sorry, like I have never heard of a show that had four 4-star matches that no one's like arguing that these are great matches. Four 4-star matches and people. And I'm looking at my timeline, and my timeline is filled with just the dumbest complaining shit, and it's like. This is one of like the 10 best wrestling shows I've ever seen. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, and I'm just looking at my time, like reading it, just going down. Like, Bianca shouldn't have won. Bianca shouldn't have lost. Bianca shouldn't have lost. Bianca should have lost. More Bianca shouldn't have lost. And then I'm looking at like, oh well, Johnny Gargano, and it's in the storyline at the end of the show or whatever else about like. Yeah, you know, like he should have immediately fucked us and not given us even a 5-minute main event. Let people tell it, because you know, it's just like. Okay, let's go through every heel turn in a man of a match we've ever seen. How many of them happen like within the first 3 minutes when the very first chance someone gets? None? Okay, so why are we complaining about this one in particular? I was just so annoyed looking at my timeline. But it's like one of the 5 best takeovers of all time, which means it's like one of the, you know, it's going to be a legitimate show of the year contender. I don't know if people. I think people just are just. I don't know. But I just found it. I just found it.
It's like it's another takeover. Like when you look at the main event, for example, it's like you see the feud they're about to roll into, and it's like, well, time is a flat circle. So it's like we're back to Gargano and Ciampa again. And a lot of people are like. Turned off from this. Well,
let's go through the match first, and then because that's the main event, and then we'll go through that, because I'm just like, y'all are bugging about nothing, but whatever. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this match. There was so much shit. Cole versus Ciampa for the NXT title. I thought they had a great match, and then they did a storyline beat that tied into the end of the match with what the finish ultimately ended up being. I think they kicked out of a lot of ridiculous stuff, just like they kick out of a lot of ridiculous stuff in Gargano or Cole main event matches, so it didn't bother me. I thought they really played into what happened in New York last year with Gargano with the almost beat by beat. Cole is beaten, Undisputed plays interference. They almost get the drop on Ciampa. Ciampa fights back. He beats the hell out of all 3 Undisputed. They go out on the floor. He lays him out, goes back to the ring. Cole has him beat. You think this is the Triple H. This is how Triple H won half his titles, right? Interference runs, and then like he beats you with his actual finish because you know, gets thwarted, kicks out. He's going to put him away with a last shot, ducks under, whatever else, and then you go from there. Like that was a play on that whole entire thing, and then you lead to Gargano with the belt, and he screws over his friend, and then Cole ends up winning at the end. There was a lot of great stuff in this match. I can't even. There's so much shit. Like my mind is just like I can't even remember half the stuff, especially because like the first match with Dijak and Lee, they did everything, and then like the rest of the show, everybody did everything, so I can't remember anything. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. I don't like the finish, but I thought it was a great match.
I thought it was a not as good version of Gargano versus Cole.
Which one?
The first one. And I thought they were having a really good match. Then, of course, like, you know, me, I'm the last person to bring up, like, selling or anything like that. But, like, yo, sell just one thing. Oh. Like when Buddy hit this man, Ciampa, with that wheelbarrow plex against the table, and he pops up, and then also the Canadian Destroyer on the floor. And then he gets rolled in and jumps to his feet immediately.
DDT's cold.
Like, yeah. Chief, it's like, Chief, you're like 25 minutes into the match at that point. Like, they've got to find another way to kind of do that. And I think it was like, well, if all that shit didn't like put him down. Just the simple belt shot did. So it was just like, oh, I felt very like robbed at the ending of like, it's like they were walking up to greatness, and then they were like, nah, we don't want that. We just gonna overbook this shit to hell. And then, you know, we're back to Gargano and Ciampa again, and you know, Johnny sellout, you know, Johnny turncoat, Johnny can't be trusted, Johnny backstabber, Johnny switch sides, Johnny bad guy, Johnny anger from within, Johnny deception, Johnny double cross, Johnny Judas, Johnny keep your eyes on him, Johnny no good, Johnny poison, Johnny shit, Johnny conniving, and Johnny treacherous.
Did you say Johnny no good?
Yes. Yes. I heard a joke that Gargano probably pitched a turn heel because he ran out of like good guy Marvel characters to dress up as. So now he gets to dress as the villains, you know, in the movie.
Nah, that's not true. There's plenty more people he could have dressed up as. What I will say is he did dress up as Carnage, so that should have been like a telltale sign that he was turning heel because Carnage is one of Spider-Man's villains. That was foreshadowing, but you know. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think the thing for me is, like, I'm kind of surprised at how people are so bummed that, like, the best feud that we saw in 2018, like, is getting ran back, and it's like, oh, no, they're going to, like, people are so upset that they're going to have their fourth match in 2 years. I'm like, what? Like, people are complaining that they're going to get, like, the fourth match in 2 years. Like, have you not seen any of professional wrestling in the rest of the world or WWE? Like, normally, I mean, hell, just look at Corbin and, and Roman. Roman's been stuck to that fucker for 6 months, and they've wrestled more than 4 times. Go ahead.
Ciampa originally turned on him in May of 2017, and it's like 2020 now. So I think people just see it as like, they're married to this style of main event in NXT, and you know it's just long in the tooth, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, I mean, there's definitely the fact that like they haven't churned NXT, but the thing for me is like, all right, if you're an NXT fan and you watch NXT, do you actually want it churned so you can go watch like more of your heroes die? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, fine, like. If that's what you want,
and then of course, you know, the normal problem of like all this depth in NXT. Only 14 people wrestled on the show last night. One of them from developmental that WWE trained. So it's like those same things that just like keeps people from engaging with it. I think on a more like they know the Takeover brand is like so heavy and there's so much to digest from it, to where. When it's like, you know, there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a great entry point, you know, for, you know, I think a lot of the complaints came from, you know, folks like, that don't normally watch NXT, right. Like the folks that were upset with Bianca not winning. I'm like, you should know what this is. And there's also another side to the Bianca thing that I think Mark Henry was completely off based on yelling at fans.
We'll get to that. But like, I mean, there's also also in some of that group, there's also like the same people that like beginning of last year were like, what is this women's division? And it's like, oh, like literally a month later, it's like the best women's division ever in North American major professional wrestling. It's like, whatever. But I never considered the fact that like the long form storytelling is so quote unquote length or extensive / and it's also relatively good that like that will be the reason why you don't want to get into it. Like I mean I don't know. I just think I heard a lot of noise from people or whatever else, and I just like I don't know. Whatever. And the main event is like, yes, it's an overindulgent main event, and we talk about this all the time. Like, it's Triple H and it's Shawn Michaels' show.
Yeah,
like,
promotion to be overindulgent. A couple weeks ago, like, I was like, this is the brand. Like, this is 35-minute main events. That's what this is. Right.
And like, yes, if they knock it off with the nonsense at the end or whatever else, then yeah, like they could have finished that off and, you know, gotten their 5 stars or whatever else. But like, I guess they're gonna have to settle for their 4 3/4 or 4.5. Yeah, I mean, do you want to move on to the next match? Or do you want to talk more about, or do you want to wait till the Gargano match to figure out more about the future with this belt?
We might as well do it now.
Okay. What do you think's next?
Before the show, I would have said Velveteen. Not anymore. I mean, they could fully like have Gargano and Ciampa main event over the belt. Like it's happened before. So I don't know if you do that to Adam Cole, who is putting a resume together that says that he's probably the greatest NXT champion of all time. And I don't know if you do that when you're finally taking the belt off him. Who knows if you're taking the belt off him at this point? Like, for me, a triple threat would be lame. And it's like, I think Ciampa's a terrible babyface. So, like, I don't think he needs to be the babyface you're building NXT around.
I don't think he's a terrible babyface. I think that they have not built up any other good babyfaces on that side. Like, Johnny was injured. Velveteen was injured. Ciampa was the only one left. Keith Lee should have been bookmarked for the top title, but they decided to put him in the mid card. They could have done something with Dijak. But they had to use Keith Lee to get him over as a babyface. Because he was a heel. Then from there, it's like, all right, then you want to put Riddle. Riddle was the real answer. They decided they wanted to put Riddle in the tag team with Dunn, and Dunn could have been an answer too. I mean, I guess you can't really say that because of the Survivor Series match with Cole, but like, they were like, all right, well, this tag division's dead. Let's rebirth it after Vince fucked it for 5 months. So, like, I see, there's a problem with me with NXT, right? If you're watching it from this perspective of it's just a TV show, these issues pop up, and that makes it hard to engage, as you said. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, and I don't mean like the long form storytelling. It's just like things get changed, and you wonder like, why the fuck did this thing was going in a good direction? Why did it get changed? They weren't doing nothing bad to make you just want to pull the plug on it. But it's more Vince directives come down or forced upon them that fucks up, the show if you're not someone that is aware of what's happening. Like, a lot of people, I'm sure, aren't aware that, like, oh yeah, there was probably some directive, like, yeah, the War Raiders cannot drop the belts on their way out. They have to lay them on the floor. They have to, in dishonor Walter's ring, right? So, like, and then 2 months later, like, think about this. January 1st was Takeover 25, where Street Profits won that tag ladder match. June 1st. January 1st, you're on Raw. Now, do you think that Triple H would have been like, yeah, we're going to belt these dudes, and a month later, we're already going to be in the process of losing them? He would have picked somebody else.
He would have just put it on the Forgotten Sons.
Oh, God. But my point is, like, these things keep happening. These things keep happening, and also, like, with the long form storytelling, like, the reason why you mentioned like Chicago in 2017 is when that turn happened. Torn ACL. It gets pushed off all the way to WrestleMania 2018. They were going to have another WrestleMania 2019 is going to be the big blow up, the final thing, the final match. Bad neck. It gets pushed off to another year. Like, they've been, like, you talk about the long form storytelling. It's like, yeah. Sometimes if you can do that and have goals in mind, and sometimes that fucks you because like people get hurt. So like,
what we gonna do about it?
They need to like cut it from a year to like 6 months out, like AEW is doing apparently.
Like they got to figure out what they can do to up the ante here, because I think this thing is going too far to like think about it. Every match they've ever had has been on some uncensored, no rules shit, right? And so either they've got a
classic rules match, Rich.
I was going to suggest that. So either they're going to have a straight singles match to be like, who's the better man, and this company ain't big enough for both of us. Like somebody got to go, like, or somebody got to retire. Someone got to like something. Like someone got to go to the loser leaves NXT, figure it out. Because at this point, I'd ask for a Hell in a Cell match, but those can't be trusted apparently in this company. So. I just like them to settle it because I would like to see those two guys wrestle other people. Kind of like I would like to see Lee and Dijak wrestle other people. Like, if you cross up some of those matches, like I don't think you're getting this black cloud that's like looming over NXT. Like, oh my god, we got to go back to Gargano and Ciampa again. And I'm looking at the roster, it's like it's so thin on that babyface side, like because someone like Garza is going to get plucked. Cameron Grimes is like a great utility guy you can use for almost anything, but you had to get him up and running as a babyface. Kushida, no, that's not the answer. Leo Rush.
I mean, they just gotta. I mean, there's some juice in Velveteen after, but it's gonna take until the next cycle to get there. Like, he needs a big win to get him to propel him there. You know what I mean? Like, if he beats Roddy on Wednesday and then goes on to whatever he does at Takeover, whatever it is, and then you can get him ready by whatever midsummer pay-per-view, whatever Chicago-ish midsummer Takeover they do, or even get to the SummerSlam Takeover.
It's time
to get him ready.
It's time for them to get him ready.
Yeah, like I would say they need to get in the process of that, and they also need to obviously if we were to look out a year from now and say, what do you think is going to be like a Takeover main event? You'd be like, all right, well, like Riddle and Dunn whenever they break up and Dunn turns heel on Riddle. Like, that seems like that's in the bag for a year now, for a year from now. But, they have some things in place, but I wouldn't be going that slow with Riddle. I'd be pushing the button on him now.
Yo, I was listening to Observer this morning, and then he brought up something. He was like, "Matt Riddle's 34," and then I looked up. I was like, "Oh my god!" When he signed in NXT, I remember he was like 32 in 2017 or something like that. Yeah. And then I'm like, the year or 31. I'm like, whoa, the years are flying. So it's like, will he have the same, everything he's got, the look, the way he comes off the fans to the youth? Will he be an old guy by the time they really want to get this shit moving with him? So
I mean, that's the thing. We were talking about that. We were talking about Riddle and Leaf how long ago? About they should have been got them up and ready for eventual succession plan for Johnny Gargano once he was going to be done as a babyface or whatever they were going to move him over or whatever else. And then this TV thing happened. Clearly these people would have been shuffled out if not for this them being on TV to try to siphon viewers from AEW. In the lifeblood of NXT was the fact that it's always new. It's always, there's never you go up the mountain and then you come back down the mountain. You got to go back up it on rare occasion.
That's why it's so weird. With Gargano now, it's
we're on uncharted waters with them.
Yeah, it's you're a heel again, but this time I think he's going to be a heel for real. They're going to try to do that with him, but it's man. Let's get to the next match. Yeah,
I think it's going to work this time, though, because, people actually are legitimately tired of him as opposed to, they turned him heel while he is number one babyface. And it made no sense at the time. I still can't believe this shit. Well, whatever. I'm not even going through it. Okay, so, next match. Undisputed, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus the Broserweights, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle.
Bobby Fish trying to win the female 34 to 59 demo. He's grayed up. This man's out there trying to look like what's his name, George Clooney, coming out with the gray on you boys, letting y'all know I don't want the same women as you. I have different ideas. Trying, NXT is already, catering to an older demographic. So, Fish is, just showing them, them watching, that could be them in the ring.
Do you want to talk about the match?
Just had to get them jokes off. But yeah, awesome match. New champs. Matt Riddle, super duper star.
Yeah. He has reached he has kind of reached that same Velveteen spot where, remember when Velveteen did that rendition of the, what was it? Of the
national anthem. The
national anthem against Dijak, and it was horrible, but the crowd was saying along anyway because they just love him. I how much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby could fry fish is the same thing. It's like, we love this dude and he's doing something terrible, but we're still going to support him even while he makes bad decisions. Like, the NXT crowd can be your friend at times.
Bro, yeah. Y'all know me. I love Riddle, and I'm glad to see him actually get some gold. And Dunn's there too, so it's like a superpower tag team. It was about time to get it off undisputed. They've had the belts forever. And it was
that
really
their third or fourth reign?
I think it was at least their third.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So, too bad they didn't have Roddy in the match.
Yeah, they could have gotten to 5 stars if Roddy was in the match. They could have gotten to 5 stars. I mean, it was a great match. Like, Kyle O'Reilly is just the best. Like, he needs a solo run. I truly believe he needs a solo run. He's that. I don't know if it's like, I think he intentionally does stuff to pop like inside wrestling fans, or not inside wrestling fans, but like hardcore wrestling fans, because he just does stuff like, what? like
I see like a lot of like Daniel Bryan qualities in him.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, he's just awesome. Moving on next. Okay, so, well, I don't know. Like, my prediction was they were going to do Broserweights versus DIY, but
that's up in smoke.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. What they come up with for
Steve Cutler, Wesley Blake. It's your time.
Nah. That's not gonna happen. That can't be it. We'll see what happens. Like, they can always bring in like a non-Gallus NXT UK tag team. They can bring in Eichner and Bartel and tear the house down. We already saw them with Webster in
pair up Leo and Swerve. Pair up Leo and Swerve.
Ooh, well, Leo might be the cruiserweight champ. We'll see. Again. So next match after that, that's the women's title match: Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I thought this was a very good match. I would not call it great necessarily. But yeah, I thought it was a really good showing, and it's one of the better matches that Rhea and Bianca both have ever had on NXT.
I thought it was alright. Finish kind of was flat, kind of came out of nowhere. I love Bianca's entrance and her gear, and just seeing her is always just such a sense of pride when you just see how much she's enjoying it and being herself, and ain't nothing anybody can do about it. Rhea Ripley's, of course, she's getting the Rocket mega push. We all knew what this was going into it, and you just try to watch the match for what it is. I thought it was okay. I thought they could have had a better match if they were asked to.
It was short. It was like 13 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it was. A lot of controversy about this match online.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I love Bianca as much as anybody.
Right. Like, Rich, whose shirt was I wearing last night?
Bianca Belair's shirt.
Oh, okay. So, like, all right. So, the thing for me that I just don't get is, like, we've all watched wrestling, a lot of it. Like, we know that NXT is a generally mostly well-booked company promotion, right? Yeah. So, when a babyface, like, dethrones almost 400-day champion, do they normally lose the belt 2 months later? Or 7 weeks later, 8 weeks later? Do they normally do that?
Definitely not.
So what the fuck is going on? Why do people think that Bianca would have had this in the bag and like this is some shocking thing? Like, we knew what this was. This even before the Charlotte thing he's even thrown into it. There was no chance in fuck they were going to have her beat Shayna at her 400-day reign and like have her lose the belt in like 7 weeks, 8 weeks. What sense does that make?
That would be dumb.
Right.
But at the same time, we've also had, folks like Mark Henry trying to shout people down. Of course, this is Black History Month.
Yeah, we can get to that. I just want to. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
NXT made the proper booking decision. You don't, as James said, you don't have someone win the belt and immediately drop it unless you don't want people to believe in them.
Right.
Anymore.
Or they're leaving the territory like Ember.
Right. It was and I think, it's how do I say this? The people that are upset about this don't know how it works, but at the same time, they are more they're on the ball, more on the ball than they think they are with it. So like Mark Henry came out and there was he was vanity searching Bianca, I guess, because he wasn't added or anything else. So Twitter user was like, why in the hell does Triple H push Bianca up only to fall to his blondes and whites? And then Mark Henry, stop it. Bianca will have her chance to reign. The biggest thing was how well she performed in her gear with Black History Moment waiting to happen. I then dunked on Mark Henry. I've talked with James and Simon and Jeremy and Sierra numerous times about my feelings on some of the things Mark Henry says.
And Booker T.
I have so much respect for these gentlemen. I do not ever go there on the timeline with it, right? But I had to say, Mark Henry, you're wrong. This doesn't fly anymore. As I mentioned on Twitter, I wasn't even a Bianca or a bus person. But you cannot keep telling folks to chill and just wait, and how they feel isn't valid when they've seen this movie before.
Right.
Sasha Banks spent years making Charlotte, and Charlotte's still not made.
And look, and let's move it beyond that, right? What the fuck was Kofi Mania about? Why did that move so many people? Because ... motherfucker, we know what this is, and that played on people's expectations and emotions, and that's why it was such a catharsis for so many people that finally had somebody that looked like them or wanted, like, you know, a fucking change for people that like merited or had compelling storylines to be pushed because of, you know, their what they had going for them at the time. Kofi was hotter than the sun, and it went with it. Look. Y'all didn't have to put Bianca in that Royal Rumble and have her throw out, 8 people?
Yep.
This is your own fucking doing.
Yep.
She didn't have to do that.
And then you set her up to be like a knockdown, essentially like defense, like before, you know, like if you're someone that was rooting for Bianca Belair, you don't want Bianca to get that title shot until after WrestleMania.
Right.
That's where you want it. So it's kind of a little bit how I felt about Daniel Bryan. Oh, he's getting a shot at Royal Rumble. Oh, this is so they can get him the fuck out of the way before WrestleMania. This is what this was. I knew what it was with Daniel Bryan. Schedule. Correct. And there's nothing interrupting the Charlotte Rhea Ripley match, y'all. And and I hate to say it, you know, the attack that Charlotte did after the match, that's probably going to lead to something on TV.
That Charlotte will just go over in, and that'll be in the discussion.
Yep. And I think people have talked themselves into Bianca being at WrestleMania and Triple Threat. I'm here to let y'all know now. Do not get married to that. Like, and but the thing is, like, you know, going back to Sasha Banks, people feel like they're seeing it again with Bianca, and that's why it's like, damn, a lot of people are protective of Bianca, and she handles it so well. With so much class on Twitter and everything like that. So it's, you know, I think folks, in one hand, they really don't know what they're talking about. And then the other hand, I think they do.
The thing for me is, like, Rich, we've been talking about Bianca since the summer of 2017. All right? Mae Young Classic, that Kyrie match.
Yep.
We've been talking about her since the second round of the Mae Young Classic in 2017. And we were like, holy hell. This woman just had a near 4-star match with Kairi Sane, who we didn't know exactly what we were dealing with. Kairi Sane, we just heard the name and didn't know like how extensive the resume was. But we were like, we had a vet versus this PCer, and they blew the roof off, and we were like, look at the potential she has in the future. And then I started watching NXT in the summer 2018. On an assisted basis, and then you see the promos and the attitude, and it's like, oh my god, like, this is like, it's beyond even what I thought this could be. Like, not only like is the potential there, like, no, it's there right now, motherfucker. You can push the button anytime you wanted to, and you have, like, for the people that you know, thought that it was Sasha, is like, no, like, I mean, yes, but even beyond. Bianca's even beyond that. Like, she's a flat out better athlete. She's a far better promo. like it's just off the charts. So it's just like you see, you know, last year around this time we were talking about the Lacey Evans call up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And like you get to where we are now, and like she's a gatekeeper. Like her and EO's the two most over until Rhea came in and she got the rocket strap. The two most over people in that division were EO and Bianca, and they served as gatekeepers for the next challengers because they already got their title shots and they had lost. They both should have beaten Shayna at the time when they got their title shots, so Shayna could have moved on, but they decided to keep her down here for reasons. So, like, I understand the frustration, but I just like, I don't, for me it's like, just like with the Kofi thing, is like, I couldn't get myself invested because I already know what this was. Like, I'm going to get myself invested on Kofi Mania because I know at the end of the day, like, even if they do let him win, they're not going to make him the man like that reaction warranted. The same thing with Bianca was like, I know what, look, I just saw the schedule. I know what this is. Like, she's just the I don't want to say it this way, but like, she was a contender of the month. I'm saying more politely because she damn sure ain't no bum. But that's where I was on it, and I was like, so when I saw the response afterwards, is like, what were y'all watching, or were y'all just not watching at all and just like came into this and had no, y'all watch wrestling but y'all don't like, you know, y'all aren't wrestling nerds like we are, so y'all expected this was like a quote unquote anybody could really win this. It was like, nah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for those that you know are, you know, feelings are hurt over this, but it's like you're the one that worked yourselves in this one.
Yeah, they this ain't on Triple H. Like, like he's operating with orders above him right now.
There's also we didn't even mention that until now, but yeah, like these are, you know, like this Charlotte thing being forced upon him. This is
when we gonna do it, bro? 'Cause I've been talking about it all in this thing, and it's like this Charlotte shit is just it's a hindrance. Bro, it's such a hindrance. There's no reason to put her in there as a star. There's no reason to put her in there as a wrestler. She came out here and was a negligible draw on Wednesday.
If any other woman in this company had the year that she had, producing outcomes that against what they actually wanted for them, they'd be in the fucking pre-show battle royal, and that'd be the end of the day. Like, they would have thrown Becky in that shit had she had this kind of year. They would have thrown Sasha, any other horsewoman, any Lacey Evans, she's gonna be in that battle royal. Mandy gonna be in that battle royal. What other than the fact that like she's very talented and she's been pushed to a spot for a long time, and the crowd respects her because they recognize that talent and they recognize the push at the same time. I mean, what are we talking about other than female Randy Orton? And there's a lot worse things you can be than female Randy Orton. Like, I mean, obviously aside from the you know, going on fucking Twitch and saying nigga or whatever else, but you get my point. Like, that's somebody that commands respect in the wrestling business. She's earned that, but getting a spot when there's only like historically, you know, 2 spots in the WrestleMania card for women. Look, if you want to add more spots, fine by me. I don't care, but like, I don't think this is going to be the case next year. I don't think this is going to be the case next year.
I don't think the men's Royal Rumble winner is ever just going to like randomly decide to challenge the NXT champion ever.
Yeah, that too. There's that too.
I don't feel like that's like going to be on the docket, and it's like just when you think last year was convoluted, like they back for the sequel, James.
Yeah,
with Charlotte.
Yeah. And that's another one. Like, let's put the Rhea recent title win away. I know y'all casuals, you know, or those that don't watch NXT. I know y'all know that Charlotte's about to have this match, and you know, I really feel bad for those that think like that Bianca's going to be in this 3-way. He's going to be into a 3-way. It's going to be real fun to be like, oh, so now y'all don't want to do a 3-way this year, huh? Oh. I can't wait to get them jokes off. Y'all couldn't do a 3-way. Last year, y'all said y'all just had to do it. Now y'all, that makes no sense now, huh? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Amazing.
450 splashes can't. 450 splashes that can't improve the match.
No, that can't add to nothing.
Yeah.
We can't use no type of personality in this thing. We can't use no type of seasoning on this feud.
Yeah, I thought the idea was if you have 2 good workers, a third good worker will also help it. I thought that was the case last year. This year, no. That's too many cooks. Oh, y'all learned y'all lesson from last year. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, so that's another. So I feel bad for those that are gonna fall for the okie doke on that one too.
So who's getting? So my original thing was, all right, now who's getting the shot at? Well, I guess we can get into it when we talk about the other women's match.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the next match after this was, or before this was, Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. This match was so incredibly well wrestled, especially this is a match for me. This is a James Boyd match where it's the reason why I cannot fully embrace Rich Lives Professional Wrestling, because Rich Lives Professional Wrestling does not allow for the actual wrestling. So I like to see motherfuckers be put in grapples and be able to work themselves out of it. And I like somebody to actually somebody put somebody in a work over their body part and then slap a hold on and make a bitch tap out. I enjoy some of the storytelling aspects. I'm not saying lay on a mat or whatever else, but if you just had a provision. Like the Rich Lives Pro Wrestling, if that was a contract I had to sign, it needs to be a James Boyd provision that says working holds also are added to the division, and I sign it. But I can't fully embrace it unless the submission's allowed, Rich. But for real,
funny thing about this match, I think this might have been Finn Balor's best NXT Takeover match.
It is,
but Johnny Gargano's worse.
Well, we complain a lot about the third Ciampa match and the third Cole match, but
actually, I take that back. That third Cole match.
Well, the thing for me is people talk about this match like they're disasters, and then you be like, "What do you give it?" Oh, 4.5, 4.25. So it's really weird with Johnny. So I mean, it's amongst the lowest. It's in the lowest tier for Johnny Gargano takeover matches. Yes,
I blame Finn Balor.
And the crazy part is I was looking at the cage match. The cage match rating has a higher than me. We both had it at 4.25. The cage match has it at a 4.5. So we were doing a lot of that was coming down off of the fucking kaiju battle, and then the Screech fight. And then they did a lot of wrestling to basically be their own
buffer.
Their own buffer. I don't know. I'll rewatch the match and see if I think more highly of it later or whatever else. But I'm not rewatching no time soon. There's a lot of wrestling.
That Finn Balor limb work will put you right to sleep. What up, Caleb?
Yeah, I mean,
I was not happy when this match ended.
Yes, you were. That's right. You were like, why the fuck did Johnny Gargano lose? I was like, I figured he was gonna lose.
Yeah, and I think it continues from the Matt Riddle thing when he went over Riddle, and it was like, wow, it's almost like there's an edict to where Balor actually can't lose to none of these people. But yeah, I didn't like it. Of course, when he turned, it kind of made sense. If you're going to turn, you can do a clean job before that because you're essentially refreshed. Yeah. But yeah, I did not like it. But they changed. Whatever. They fixed it.
Yeah, I just figured Finn Balor's being pushed as top star. And another thing is because you don't watch NXT that much, the crowd loves him. The crowd's happy that Finn's there. So for me, it's the crowd's into it. He's so much better in NXT than he ever was in the main roster. Even when they got him over the first night on Raw by beating Roman Reigns, this is the best work of his career while being in WWE as a company. This is far better than even his first NXT run. He comes out and he just beats the piss out of people. He stomps a mud hole in people. He wrestles super aggressive. I never watched him when he was when he was the ace of the junior division or whatever else, or I don't know if he was the ace of the division or whatever. When he was in the junior division in New Japan, but like this is stuff I heard about. Like he's this awesome heel, and like I like his character as he's almost like an assassin in a way. Like he like game plans on people. Oh God, I'm going to make him sound like he's Jay White. But imagine if Jay White was intriguing, like legitimately intriguing. Like his character is like he's mean and nasty. He beats the piss out of you and he scouts you or whatever else. And like he finds like character like flaws in your game or your character or whatever else to exploit or whatever else. So like and he can be particularly vicious in a way that like Jay White has never been vicious. He's just a guy that like. He wrestles. You know what he does? Jay White wrestles like y'all complain about the way that like James Harden plays basketball.
Oh my God!
Like he feels like he wrestles like a tax attorney. Like he just finding like little loopholes to stay just this much intriguing while doing the least amount as possible. Yeah. So anyway, back to Finn Balor. Like I really enjoyed their match. I thought that like. I like the story of, you took him out with the shotgun drop kick or whatever else. He tries it doesn't work, and then like it escalates to he sends him flying off the fucking table. Like I really enjoyed the match. If it were me, I either go shorter or I let them go do a little bit more, but that's just my personal taste.
Yeah, I think it was a welcome change though. Because sometimes you need the shotgun to put Johnny Gargano down. So Finn did not need the shotgun tonight.
Yeah. And like he stood over him, clearly won. And I'm like, me, like, beat somebody. I'm a fan of, look, you booked a match, people were anticipating it, and the crowd was into it, beat somebody. So they did that. So I wonder what they're gonna do with Finn Balor next. Like, could he, he could honestly go for the domestic title against Cole, because he had his match. He had a great match with Cole for the title, and then at the end, Johnny came out and distracted him. And then there's also, he could say, you know what? I want Walter. They could do that. I would never want to see that, because that means like there might be something where like they make him UK champion. Like I don't want Walter to never not have that belt ever. Not while I'm still on this earth. But yeah, like there's intriguing stuff. I mean, he could even be like, look, I've won every belt there is to win in this stinking joint. Let's try on Keith Lee. Keith Lee, you still want smoke from that triple threat match that I stole the pin from you? There's stuff at play. Like I wonder what he's a nice like spot. There's for flexibility standpoint, he can go anywhere. Hell. Balor versus Dream could happen. Velveteen, that would be interesting as hell too. Like you imagine, like Finn Balor just getting the. Sorry,
I think one of them needs to be elevated though. Like, and I don't want Dream losing nobody right now. And
I'm just saying let's say this: we don't know how much longer Finn Balor has in NXT. That could be his write-off. If he's in a non-title match, that could be his write-off at WrestleMania. They could be like, look. I can imagine. I can see it right now. I can see all of the Finn Balor stuff. He just getting furious and mad as Dream just keeps like giving him all the sexual innuendo. I just see him getting furious.
Velveteen Dream versus Finn Balor would be interesting for more than one reason.
Huh? What do you mean?
What's up, Kathy Kelly? But yeah,
I did not know that until last night, and I already forgot. But I okay.
Yeah, next match.
All right, next match. The street fight.
Street fight.
Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai. A rematch of a match that happened a few weeks ago that Tegan won fairly easily. I thought it was a very good match. I give it 3.5. I like Josh Smith from Keepin It Strong Style. Particularly love this match. I think he probably gave it 4. I wasn't feeling to that extent, but I thought they worked really hard. I thought they did a lot of cool spots. I hope that Tegan's back is okay after she took that tried to do the senton thing into the trash can, but she ended up like landing on her back instead of like flush against the trash can like she wanted to. I worry about her neck after that table spot too. But what were your thoughts on the match?
I thought this match was very awesome. I ended up going 3.75 on it. Mm-hmm. I would have gone over 4 stars had Tegan Nox put her away with that knee and she not like, gone stupid and decided to I need to inflict more punishment and then allow the newly dubbed Raquel Gonzalez to come out. She puts her away there. I'm giving that 4.25.
Yeah.
I thought they beat the shit out of each other. They were aggressive. They were there to run it from the entrance. They knew what they were following, and the best way to follow one of those is with a big brawl. Both of these ladies showed they were tough, and that fucking German suplex on that trash can. I don't wish that on nobody. The I am the table moment was funny, and I think it flattened the crowd. As soon as they saw old girl run out, so sacrificing the match quality for whatever booking they want to do. And I'm not mad to see Raquel Gonzalez though. I've always been a fan.
Okay, so it
plays into who I think is going to get the shot at Takeover Tampa. Someone you can easily beat that ain't going to affect nothing.
I'm starting to wonder if there actually is going to be a shot, or if it's the match that happens at New York will be the number one, the next contender for the eventual Charlotte or / Rhea champion leaving out of WrestleMania weekend. And I flat out at this point, I'm thinking it's going to be in Bianca and Io for a title shot down the line. I think logistically, or to me in my head, it makes the most sense now. At this point, you almost can't put a title match on there now. Have the champion wrestle back to back against Charlotte. Kayfabe wise, that sounds like suicide for the champion.
Sound like it ain't fair, right?
Right. Here you go.
We giving Charlotte extra privileges. Man, that ain't never happened before.
Okay, so it's a flat out just a out of left field Deus Ex Machina finish. That's just it's all the finishes that we hate. At least the Johnny thing makes some sense of okay, they have all this history. They literally tease the Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole stuff leading into Johnny showing up. But to have a motherfucker that has nothing to do with anything, a motherfucker this was straight up the Butcher, the Blade, Raquel Gonzalez. That's exactly what this was. Who the fuck are you? What do you have to do with anything? We didn't know what. It was just basically screwball finish to get out of beating the person that we didn't want to beat because we booked this match when we shouldn't have booked this match, or a second match anyway. So yeah, I'm definitely upset. The people that were just what the fuck with this finish. I get it, I 100% get it.
Yeah,
you're justified.
You can hear the. I feel like you can hear the groans in the crowd. Yeah.
Right. It's this. Thanks. This is NXT Takeover. You put this main roster ass finish on our card. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely get it, but I thought they did a lot of good work up until that long.
Great work. They were fucking awesome. Actually, that was the best performance I've seen out of either of them.
Yeah, that's the match. I have honestly, I probably have, aside from the opener, I have a recommended list match of 3.5 matches that I've seen that are 3.5 stars or better.
That's funny. I got one that's 4 or 4.25 and better. Something
so
that.
For me, I have it just for when we do next year's or this coming year's 2020, and all these promotions, I'll put it to 3.5, whatever else, just to make sure I have enough matches to be all right, because I don't love the AEW basically Sugar Rush tag matches in the way that you do. So a lot of matches I think you would give 4.25. I'm it's 3.5, 3 3/4. I don't love those matches the same way you do. So I got to make sure that I lower my own threshold to make sure that I have enough matches or whatever else. Because I we'll see what happens with AEW in the future with their pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views are going to probably supply most of these in their main event singles cards. Things on Dynamite are going to provide most of it. Anyway, we're too much in the reads, but yeah, this, aside from the opening match, like every other match on this card, I have my rating and I'm like rewatch, because like I think that like when I watch it by myself, like my thoughts on these things would like fluctuate a star, or a half a star, a quarter star to a half star, up or down depending on when I rewatch it. It's like I'll probably like the two women's matches probably more.
Boy, liking the women's matches more. On brand.
I think I'm gonna like the Johnny Gargano match more too. I'm probably gonna like thinking about it again. I'm probably gonna end up liking. I think I rated these matches low compared to other people when I saw like what they liked. So I'm gonna take that into account and be like, maybe I was just off and just not like. And also another thing is like, I enjoy watching like wrestling matches like when I'm not at a party, at a watch party, because I'm too busy like trying to talk, pay attention to the match. But whatever. So. Opening match. You said main event?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. That was my main event. Opening match. North American title match. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. This thing was fucking incredible. I think I have 4 or 5-star matches this year. This is one of them. I love this match. I want a copy of this match buried in my coffin, or put in my coffin when I get buried. I love this match. There's just something just so easy in like almost like primal about like you get two big people two hosses, if you will, and you put them in the ring together and they just clobber the fuck out of each other. And then once you add like the flips and the dives and the swanton, the springboard swanton between two announce tables onto a seated athlete.
Yeah,
it's just like, this is incredible. This is unbelievable, dude. This motherfucker did the Tyler Bate, or sorry, Dijak did the Tyler Bate corkscrew deal, bro. Like what? He's 270 pounds. They did a top row Spanish fly, both of them.
Yeah.
Who else wrestles like this?
Usually they wrestle for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, but they gave me what I wanted for large portions of this match, which was where it felt like they were fighting at some point. And that's what I said, like, maybe a week or two ago. I was like, I'm really not interested in, like, who can do more flips than the other person, which is strange coming from me. But I'm like, this is like their how many matches that they've done that. So I was like, can they just add a little bit of a twist? And motherfucker, they did. So
the first match in NXT?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
And, I'm hearing that PWG match they had is still the one. And I've seen a YouTube clip of it for 4 minutes, and it's like, it feels like it's never going to end. Just seeing that YouTube clip is like just every single spot. Like, if you like this match, I would probably encourage you to watch the PWG match, the full one. I had this one at 4.75 because I went, I was like, well, did I like it more than Dragon Lee and Hiromu Takahashi? I thought it was about the same, so that's why I went with it. So, but this is a hell of a match. Someone finally fucking won the feud. After they repossessed it from Roderick Strong. Dijak came out with the Kobe Bryant, said he was dedicating the match to Kobe. That always will get me to smile. So looked like the Kobe system to me. So
so Lee won this feud, if I remember correctly, 2-1 to 2. Like, there was a no contest, there was a double count out. Lee won 2, Dijak won the second match. I love this feud. Like, it didn't turn into an official feud until the very last match, but I love this feud. Yeah, man, like, I can't speak highly enough of this match. Like, I don't think I can tell you this right now. There are 4 matches already that are like, when we do the favorite 10 matches of the year worldwide, there are 4 matches that are already on this list. There is the Ibushi Okada, there is the Hiromu and Ospreay, there is Takumi Iroha and Mayu Iwatani, and there's Dijak and Lee. Those 4 are already in stone, and like if one of these matches gets cut from this year, this will have been like my most enjoyable time of as a wrestling fan or wrestling year ever, because I can't think of any other time like any of those 4 matches would be like, oh yeah, that's gonna get bumped from something. I just couldn't imagine it. And bro, we're still months away from G1, and
I was gonna say G1 coming. Like, I saw a lot of people was like, we're already getting the show. I'm like, look, man, we got to pump the brakes on just declaring stuff that early. It's like there's so much stuff still coming, so it's like just ride the wave.
Like no, dude, there's New Japan Cup. There's Best Super Juniors. There's there's G1. There's the Grand Prix. Like, we're going to get a bunch of matches left, and I'm still like, yo, I don't know how these 4 matches get bumped, but we'll see at the end of the year. So yeah, I think we kind of discussed it. Okay, so who do you? No, we haven't. But who do you think Lee next challenger for Lee is?
Cameron Grimes, maybe. I don't know if they'll ever aesthetically get him up to snuff to really be able to step in there.
Do you know who died?
Takeover challenger.
I'm sorry, never mind. It was Gargano. My bad. So you said Grimes, huh? Could be. I think I'm pretty sure that Grimes took the pin in the 4-way that Lee won to get the title shot against Strong to begin with. But, I mean, obviously things change. You got 2 months to rehab, whatever else. But, yeah, I'm trying to think of more.
He'd be my pick because he's a heel.
Okay. There's no other heels? There's got to be some other heels.
I mean unless they're going to pull someone out the fucking factory, I don't know.
They can pull out Priest?
Yeah, they could, but I'd rather Cameron Grimes.
Kyle O'Reilly, because he'll be a single, and you can get him away from Bobby Fish for once on the takeover.
He could defend that shit against Roddy.
Roddy gets Roddy some cause I don't know, because that means doesn't that mean he kind of has to beat Velveteen to build towards that, towards that again. No. Sorry, Roddy, I love you, but nah. You need to do this JOB, sir. I mean, the answer would be if they weren't in a tag team like Riddle or Dunn, but they're in a tag team now. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be somebody good. Whoever
they could debut Austin Theory. Yuck.
He had a couple matches at the end of last year. He had a match with Roddy that was awesome.
They got Swerve challenge him.
Ooh, that'd be good. Yeah, Swerve. Write it down right now. Swerve.
Yeah, Tino back. Tino Sabatelli.
Nah.
Start getting some of these developmentals in there.
Hey. These dead ringers also need development too, apparently. So it's developmental. It's not developmental. It's a third brand. Don't put that developmental shit on my third brand TV show, sir. No, thank you.
Or
there's only room for so many.
You know what you could do if you want to turn them? You could turn Bronson Reed and do another big man flip off or whatever.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there's options. I think they need to put him in there with a normal sized person. Because he's not be wrestling other gigantic people in WWE if and when he does go to the main roster. So you may as well get him, quote unquote, if it's developmental, develop Keith Lee already. And I think there's those matches are special to a NXT fan base. So you don't want to keep going after the same thing over and over and over. Keep having monster matches. You want to kind of keep that novelty special. I imagine that's what I would do after I've done 5 of them already. Yeah.
I do Grimes or Swerve.
Okay. Yeah, I think Swerve. That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, great show. It's going to be a show of the year candidate, unless like AEW and NXT like come to WrestleMania weekend in future and they just go over the top from what we from last year's standard. But yeah, and New Japan decides like, yeah, let's just
let's just box everybody out real quick.
Wrestle Dynasty or whatever. We'll make Wrestle Dynasty like the. Like, we're going to stick to the promise of it being equivalent or better than Wrestle Kingdom. And, like, unlike WWE, they'll actually hold true to that promise.
Yep.
So outside of that, like, I mean, there's a possibility this doesn't ends up as a not top 5 show, but I don't think so. But yeah, let's move on to NXT AEW Dynamite from last week. And we could do that show's fucking awesome. Like, top to bottom. There was not one bad segment on that show. This is my favorite AEW Dynamite episode. Like, and I think at worst it's the 3rd best episode.
Yeah, I don't know if I could go as far as saying like this is definitively my favorite one, because I know I think it was like the 3rd episode a whole lot, maybe the 2nd one. And I've liked pretty much every show they've done. But if you I think Floyd said it best on All Things Elite. What they did is cut out the stuff that people were complaining about, like Nightmare Club was gone, limited use of Dark Order, vignettes, promo stuff.
The women's segment, even though there was still, or the women's spotlight felt important as opposed to a time fill.
Yeah, the title change, another title match that was really, really good, and a good main event with like them breaking out like a new like wrinkle into what AEW can do with like freelancers or whatever. They can come in and shit. So that's just like, oh man, that can go on in this promotion. So it's almost like they opened up another door. And I hate to use the terminology, but it's like they opened up like, oh yeah, we can also do this too. And it was funny, Meltzer had mentioned that AEW has a working relationship with MLW. So that got my mind to thinking, who did MLW just recently announce a partnership with? Dragon Gate.
Ooh.
So it's like, is this all like connected across the map now? It's like you got AAA, AEW, MLW, Dragon Gate. Just let's mix it all together like some gumbo. Let's get that going here. So, but yeah, I loved the episode last week. Fresh off, Cody taking the 10 lashes.
Yeah, like, I mean, just like the tag match opener of the SCU rematch, title rematch. I thought it was a really, really good match. Which match do you think was better? Like the first match or the rematch?
I think the first match was better.
Okay. I mean, I
think I don't know. I think they're kind of like on the same level.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, I just like I like their match, but like I don't know if maybe I'm mistaken on this, but like is Kazarian known to be like a smooth worker, or is he kind of like he's touch and go?
I don't know. Like I haven't watched a ton of Kazarian. I saw him when he was younger. Like I saw he used to be like really athletic, and I think he's still fairly athletic for his age now. And I don't know. I think he's just a tag team wrestler at this point.
Yeah, like there were like in these tag matches with Paige and Omega, like it seems like he's like slight, like a hair off, and like I guess it's because the work is so good that like the fact that he's not like perfect, it kind of makes it stand out to me. I don't know, but yeah, their matches are really good always. I do like the part where like he gets pinned and like he's by the rope and he grabs rope at 3.1. It's
it felt like it was just like a second late.
And this is reaching desperation. Like I was of just like, yeah, you got beat, but like you still had the heart to fight. It's just you just hadn't have enough fire to even reach out. You just everything you had was just out of you, and you couldn't answer the bell at the last second or by a split second. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else is that. I mean, there's so much
Hangman and Kenny team. Look, that Hangman and Kenny team, they adding up all these 4-star matches at the beginning of the year. Don't think I ain't taking note.
I wouldn't go as far as calling those 4-star matches, but I mean, I got them on rewatch, and I'll check. Let's see.
So after that, they had the interview with Santana. This was fucking
that's
awesome.
right. That's right. To sit down with Jim Ross.
He had a parent die. I think it was like New Year's, and that's why they weren't on that New Year's show. And he starts cutting this emotional promo, and he's like back to back, and this is fresh off that promo that he kind of like snuck on the scene with the week before, and it's like, well, can you do it again? And they put him, they put him in the environment with Jim Ross. Is like, this is like, we put you in this seat because we know you can fucking deliver, and that's what he did. So.
And better yet, it's like, it's also, as a nostalgic 90s wrestling fan, is like, this Jim Ross doing a sit down interview with people is what got people over to be huge stars in the 90s. I am the fucking game. That I am the game promo is what helped propel Triple H. The three faces of Foley was what helped propel Foley, and that's the reason why. Like, I used to sit here and be like, how come y'all aren't doing this shit anymore? Like, and even when he re-signed in 2017 or whatever else, it was like, obviously it was to keep him off the table from doing more New Japan stuff, but it was like, make use of this. You have this history of him helping get people over. Do it again, motherfucker! They're not in the star making business anymore. They're in the keep away business. But yeah, the warehousing business. That's actually the storage business. They storing boys.
Running up the numbers, he had to get JD Drake off the Indies. Just
can you imagine?
Just had to take him.
Let's think about 5 years ago. Can you even imagine that JD Drake would have been signed 5 years ago?
Hell no. Hell no. We already got one Kevin Owens. God damn it.
Unbelievable. But yeah, like, it was a great promo, and like, there's breakout potential in that dude, like, because clearly he's already a great wrestler or very good wrestler. I don't know about how well he does his single stuff, but like, he's clearly an incredible tag performer, and he's already demonstrated himself to be a very good wrestler at the least. So, with his promo ability, like, there ain't too many Santanas in professional wrestling business. Like, he's gonna, like, he should get a shot, and he should be able to go out there and like bring what he can bring to the table that other people can't bring to the table.
And it almost makes you give another look at the Inner Circle. Like, how talented is this group? Like, you got Jericho there, you got Sammy Guevara there, you got this, wild personality in Ortiz, and then like this kind of cool talker that that gets like fired up, that can do his thing in Santana, and then Hayer's breaking out with a new character. We'll see what he brings to the table, but I mean, we already kind of know what he's done, and he's been awesome in his role. So it's like, you look at Inner Circle and you're like, wow, this is a really talented group, and there's more than one person that can talk, there's more than one person that can wrestle, and it's just like, well, y'all gonna have to take the memes down, like that was saying, talking all the noise about the Inner Circle and all this shit. Like,
wait, I don't remember that. What was that?
Oh, man. People was uploading, like, comparing them to Undisputed Era, and basically trying to bury the Inner Circle with saying, which one would you rather have? Da 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 da. And I'm like, all right, just let it ride, man. Just let it ride.
I mean, look. The top three of Undisputed is incredible, but like, I'm not like, they're not like they're not like some untouchable force either, right? Like, those are like, they're not the greatest faction ever either. So it's not like, so I didn't realize people were doing that, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it more stand wars between WWE and AEW?
Yes.
I'm really sick of having to cover that. I mean, obviously that's because we cover both. Like, we're never really gonna have to deal with that to an extent. But like, between hearing some of those, like the main roster people in the AEW stands, like micro criticize Takeover last night, and then like people are doing these comparisons between Inner Circle and I had no idea about. It's like, this is gonna. I mean, it's already exhausting, but like, we got to figure out a way to how to, like, just for our mental health, like, avoid some of this poison as we go into the the weeks and months and years that cover both these shows. Hopefully it'll die down. That's what I hope.
Doubt it.
Yeah, that is wishful thinking.
the more like people start showing up and more free agents that come off the board for each side, and it's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be real interesting.
Like, you do great wrestling, we do great wrestling. Ours is better. Okay, whatever. Like, who gives a shit? So
they did a video with Darby Allin. They said Darby Allin can't talk, so it's still from the larynx injury, and he holds up the cue cards, and we get a Rich Latta young nigga match between Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. Very excited for this. I think they need like another strong work rate match on this show. Probably need a couple more too, but
do we know yet what the steps for this match is?
No.
Okay. Like, I don't know what the step is, but like it needs to be explained. Like, this will not go to a 20-minute draw or 30-minute draw. Someone will win. Someone must win this match via a pinfall or a submission. No shenanigans. Don't bring your ass down to the ring, inner circle, or not. Oh my god, I'm gonna say MJF or Swagger, Hager. Stay your ass away. Wrestle. Let the young dudes wrestle.
Yeah. So hoping that's going to be great. Sammy G and Dustin had a match. Not really much of a match, except Dustin hit his Canadian Destroyer and got his win back on Sammy from earlier in the month. But news was he ended up challenging Jake Hager for Revolution. And you think about it, they've been building this match up for a long time. And he broke this man's arm. Yep. This is before the Full Gear show. This is like going the first couple of weeks of AEW. So it's like all this build, people fucking go nuts at the thought of this match.
Wasn't that the same episode as the Shivani and Cody in the limousine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the same as the contract signing. Like, he had to come.
That's right.
So the crowd fucking loses it, and they're in Dustin's hometown of Austin, Texas. And, they got people cranked for Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. This is a masterfully booked company.
Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. I saw the crowd was hot for it, but like, I mean, a lot of that was because of like, you had the hometown hero winning. You had the hometown hero call a dude out like it was on some UFC shit after a win. Like, who you want next? I want this motherfucker. Like, it was just simple wrestling. Like, look,
perfect storm.
Yes, it's like, and he cut a great promo. It's like, look, you're a failure. When Jericho's bitch. He's like, no, I'm talking not you, the other one. Like,
yeah,
it was just like, okay, there you go. It's like, I think the thing why I love this show so much was the fact is like all these promos were hidden, and like you don't get that these days where like, or actually ever, like where every promo's hidden. Like that's not some normal occurrence. Even if it was the Crockett, that wasn't like some common thing. Like, you hear all the talk about NWA now on Tuesdays. I ain't watching no fucking NWA. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just not. But like to see like killer promos all up and down the show is like, that shit was like, see, like all y'all talking about is like, is this show just gonna stand out? Remember when people were like, is this gonna be a work rate show with statistics? Remember that?
Yes.
Turns out by watching NXT and watching AEW is like, all you got to do is just like tweak a few more things, and this could be the main roster. Like, I think about it all the time. I don't know if you do, but I think all the time it's like, you tweak a few things here and there. Look, 5 times less fuck finishes. People getting beaten, people getting beaten instead of like come up with an excuse for why not to beat people. Wins and losses mattering. Programs that begin, have something compelling and then end or transition.
Correct alignments.
Right.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, not trying to force feed stuff. It's very, and like people actually like using their own words to get over whatever bullet points you need them to get over, because they're adults that can speak. Like, and are, and work and practice on their craft and like have stuff planned out ahead of time so they can practice and rehearse or whatever they need to do. All of this, like, I watch these Wednesday shows. I'm just like, this is like the stuff that like we all loved. Right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I watched it for years, and it's like, in 2017 on, it's like, that's not what this is anymore.
Yep.
Like, except for, it, like, when we do get that, it's like, that was on accident. Right?
Or Gato was booking it.
Yeah, of course. I'm in American wrestling, but yeah. Like, so it's like, I just love this show so much. We ain't halfway done when I'm just like gushing about how much I love this show.
Up next, more great promos. Britt Baker comes to the stage.
Yes.
Oh my god!
This has been promo of the year so far, right?
Look, I was here on this show saying Britt Baker is actually good, y'all. And,
her first promo on the boat was rough. Then the second one was good, and this one was like, this is promo of the year so far, right?
I was willing to fight over the last one.
No, but this is promo of the year so far, right?
I mean, I don't think anyone's got a reaction like this.
I mean, last time someone got a reaction from a promo that I remember like this was like during the Elias thing with Kevin Owens when they talked about Seattle leaving or the Seahawks or not Seahawks, the Sonics leaving Seattle.
Yeah, that unforgivable shit.
Right, that was 2018, right?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, like this was a killer promo. Killer. And she was killing before she even got to that line.
Yeah. She said basically she walked out there, gave him the hug or whatever, and wrapped her arms around him. Yeah. Yes. Like she asked how she could justify what she did. She said it was a stupid question, and she said as a dentist she was only doing her duty for the public because that tooth was in decay and it was coming out anyway.
It said because she's not from this country, we don't know about her insurance. And I was like, yo, this xenophobic dentist, Jesus Christ.
She said she did her a favor and she did it for free. And she said, but Tony, you have health insurance, Mr. Starbucks.
And every week, looking dead in the camera, Shafani, and mouthing, what the fuck? Like,
yes. She said, Nyla and Rio is going to be awesome, but, they still number 2 compared to her. She told the fans, who are starting to boo, and like shut their chubby Whataburger faces, and then the crowd fucking like explodes, and then she just buries them even more, and then she throws up the horns and turns them bitches upside down. They are furious.
Yeah. With the boomer, furious. So, have you ever had Whataburger?
No.
Okay, there used to be Whataburgers down here, and then like I don't know what happened, but they used to be like back when we were in high school. That around that time, like they used to have them, and they got rid of them or whatever. I was hurt when I went to one. And it was like, oh, it don't exist no more. Fuck. Anyway, like, it's good. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest thing in the world, but like, it's good. Just like if you ever had like In-N-Out for the first time or Shake Shack, it's like, oh, it's good. And it's a local one. And I see why people champion their own deal or whatever else. Yeah. Chick-fil-A in Georgia or whatever else too. So yeah, I get it. So I understand why you're like, oh, you talking about, what the shit that represents us. So I can't wait to see what they do next week. It's gonna be really good. Hopefully, like, I don't know if they should do it again, but like this should be a consistent thing for her, like almost every other week or every 3 weeks.
Yeah, at least every 2 weeks, like her coming out there with somebody. Like, just let Britt Baker just do what she's good at right now.
This could be the new like this could be like the new Okerlund and Buff.
Oh my god,
that's way better. That's way better.
Yeah, I'm glad Britt Baker is getting basically to give back to a lot of people that was getting on her, just really mean to her in the beginning. Like she's not that experienced. She was trying her best. Matches weren't they weren't up to world class quality, but I mean if you're inexperienced, I can't really get that mad at you, but she found a way. So and whoever was like, yo, we gonna turn this around, and we know what's inside you. We told you on the show there's something there with her, and we feeling kind of vindicated right now. But I'll slow it down because she's still got to prove it in the ring,
right?
With this side, whatever. But she's
off
to
a battle down though.
Start. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So one thing I want to know if you notice this as well. Do you notice like the I wouldn't say the fervent, but do you notice like the the way that we found out who did what for her promo in comparison to the fact that like we don't know who did what for anybody else's promo?
I did notice.
Don't you think that's kind of weird? Why do you care so much?
Yeah, I heard there was like Cody might have contributed a line, like Tony Khan might have came up with like a bullet point.
Whataburger line, and then like everything else was bullet points from Tony Khan.
Yeah,
but like obviously she put in her own words and her own delivery. Obviously, you had to go out there in front of almost a million people watching her to do it.
Yeah, Britt's a role model,
right? So my question for you, right? So because we know all of that, does that mean that we'd have to disqualify her, or is it okay that like everybody else that we ever nominated for promo of the year in WWE, like gets every fucking word told to them and they're repeating is perfectly fine. So why do we give a shit about? And we never find out who said that. Who told Daniel Bryan to say that line? Who told Samoa Joe to say that line? Who told Kevin Owens to say that line? We don't give a fuck. But apparently, when it's her, we keyword you underline the word her. We need to know who said who's promo. Who gives a shit?
Solid point.
It's to me, it's like so weird.
The real controversy with Britt Baker is Britt Baker being a role model this week, and it just making people furious, and her leaning into it. Oh, it was joyous to watch.
Didn't she post a picture of Jericho and Jericho's doing the role model thing in the 90s?
Yes, just fucking glorious. Loved it. Piss those fuckers off. Yes, Like, look, man. I done seen this Bailey heel run on these pay-per-views. It ain't over. So I don't know why they riding this hard like this, but it's that Stan war.
Yeah. I mean, like, I first thought of it was like, oh, like I kind of swore Bailey was doing the thing, but like, it's not the same thing. It's just the same words for what the name of it is. So it's like, nah, it's like Bailey says she's a role model because she shows up to work and works really hard. Like, so like I can see slight or whatever else, and she talks about disrespect she incurs from the fans. Meanwhile, like Britt is like
a dentist.
She's leaning into the dentist thing by saying like, I'm better than you because I work 2 jobs and I have 3 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the heat is, they're trying to get the same heat, but I think they're going about it in enough ways that are different to where it's like, it's not the same thing. And plus, like, you had a million of these characters and no one gives a shit until now.
Yeah.
Because y'all, but anyway,
I've been so disconnected from WWE when you told me about the role model thing. I was like, who's doing a role model gimmick? Like,
that's right, I had to tell you. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look, man, I'll be honest with you, like, everything I ever hear about the main roster these days is never anything about SmackDown. Unless it's like, dude, look what they got. Look what they have Daniel Bryan's, like, look what they've lowered Daniel Bryan to doing this week. Look what they've lowered Roman Reigns to doing this week. That's the only thing I ever hear on SmackDown. It's like, look, they're not doing anything with Sasha. Is she hurt? Like, there's like,
nobody knows.
And then you hear about Mandy Otis. Like, that's it. It's like, poor, look, so it's like, poor 2 horsewomen, poor Roman, poor Daniel Bryan. Look at Mandy and Otis. That's it. That's all I ever hear.
Fire Bruce Pritchard.
Oh man.
Fire Vince.
Now you own to something.
Yeah.
You can get the fuck up out of here. We can have we can
have it all.
Yes, we can have it all on some. You never seen this show, but like on some full 30 Rock. With Donahue talking to Liz Lemon, we can have it all, Rich. We can have it all.
So
work life and home life, we can have it all. We can have Mondays, 2 Wednesday shows, Fridays, New Japan, Stardom. We can have it all, but there's just one motherfucker in the way. Oh man!
Let's talk about the AEW Women's Title match. So Riho came in,
not a classic,
against
great match. Flat out
Nyla Rose. Yeah, new champion Nyla Rose. Riho dropping the title after a I don't know how many days it was, but she's been the champ since October. Yep, our first AEW women's champion is in the books. A lot of people, a lot of people like, between Riho and Nyla Rose, these are two of the more targeted people in AEW for whatever reason. One of them a lot easier to figure out than the other.
Are all the women in AEW like all targeted except for like Hikaru Shida and Statlander? I feel like everybody else is like everybody has something to say about every single one of them. And I mean, obviously some of it is like, well, underdeveloped character or whatever else, but like it goes beyond that for a lot of them. Yeah,
it's like some, but Nyla gets the win here. I would say easily a 4-star match.
Okay, I gotta stop you. So I have Raw up because I heard there was some match that was being advertised that's coming up, so I have it on. Anyway, they just show Natty coming out because she's got to do a program with Asuka, and apparently last week Asuka back kicked Natty in the jaw when she was on all fours. And on Instagram, they showed Natty with a fake black eye after they showed us the replay of Asuka backing her in the jaw, Rich.
Unbelievable.
They showed it clear as day that she back kicked her in slow motion in the jaw.
If they are willing to lie to you about something like that, they will lie to you about anything. Anything. I don't think it's a program that's just they're going to be in an Elimination Chamber match together.
Right. Okay, you're right. But you're absolutely right. But I'm just like, what? Oh yeah, and Kyrie can't be in the Elimination Chamber because we got to find room for Sarah Logan or Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Free Kyrie Sane. So maybe Nyla Rose needs some new challengers. So. But so,
look, if you like that match on Wednesday between Nyla Rose and Riho, you know who would have a better match with Nyla Rose? Kyrie fucking Sane, 10 times out of 10. So yeah, that would intrigue me very much, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So Nyla Rose, how do you feel about Nyla Rose getting the win here?
It's cool. I wish that more of her wins on the road back to this title shot were shown on TV. It's one thing to have one of these on Dark or whatever else, but it felt to me kind of like I don't remember her winning any of these matches. Obviously, I don't watch Dark, but they should have along the way have put her in positions to show her getting press win. I think I don't know why they didn't. Was one of those Shanna table matches on the show on Dynamite, and I just remember
it was on Dark.
Yeah, that should have been a match you probably should have put on so you can remind you. Oh yeah, she's on the comeback trail. I mean, and we talked about this after she was doing a bunch of jobs for Riho and different variations of matches. It was eventually she's gonna have the one where the monsters gets off her ass and decides to have the Shaq 2000 season and say I'm enough being nice, enough resting on my laurels, I'm just going to Hall of Pain this shit. Mm-hmm. And that was what this was. I don't think they broadcasted that well enough, but I mean, by the time we got that match did enough broadcast on its own for you to know what it is now. This new improved Nyla Rose is more aggressive, and I thought for as many times that they've wrestled, they never had a bad match. Every match I thought they had was very good. This is just their best match. This is the first match I would flat out call great. So I'm happy for both of them because they got a lot of shit, especially Nyla, and now that she's in there and she can I want to see what she can do when she's not just telling the basic David Goliath story and can wrestle more women that are a little bit bigger and can bring more to the table as far as a respectability or less of a suspension of disbelief. So I really want to see her versus Shida. I really want to see her versus Statlander.
What you mean? You ain't buy a Riho with the Snapdragon, bro?
Okay. So it popped me. It popped me. But at the same time, it popped me. I was it popped me because of how preposterous it was. It wasn't because it's oh, this is there is something to be said of if she had Hogan Andre'd and then tried to go for it once or twice, never got in, eventually came around to it. That would have felt more earned and would have emotionally popped the crowd even more. But I enjoyed it either way.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nyla Rose is getting a lot of bullshit from around the internet, and including one Val Venus. Yeah, and she's taking it in stride, and I look forward to seeing what she is going on. It is kind of concerning that they swapped the belt right here, and then they only have, I don't know what they're going to do for the pay-per-view.
Right.
So it's
maybe
like
a rematch, and she just wins flat out.
Maybe a rematch. Maybe they get somebody up and running really quick to challenge her. Like it gets like 2 or 3 wins between Dark and Dynamite. Going forward here, but yeah, these two, the crowd bought the title change. They popped at the finish, and it wasn't even like, oh, thank God Rio's out of here. It was just like,
they really wanted Rio to retain.
Yeah,
they were living and dying with Rio by the end of that match, or not even by the end of the match, by even halfway through the match. I mean, this was such a great reaction at the end of the match for them loving Rio so much that, like, I think Rio should be a 2-time champion eventually. Like, she should get a second title reign. That's how much, like, that crowd loves her, and she's obviously the most. The crowd connects to her more than anyone else in that division right now. So, like, I'm not saying do it in 6 months. I'm saying do it in, like, have her come back in a year and build her back towards becoming a champion again, and the crowd will love it again. I mean, it's just a white meat babyface that goes out there and, like, beats people.
Then we had the interview with Jericho. He basically introduces, Jeff Cobb.
Yep.
Says Jeff Cobb is coming to whoop Moxley's ass if he can survive Santana.
What was the line? It was a particular like funny line. He was like, because you're stupid and you're something else.
And you're crazy.
Yeah, if you're crazy enough to beat Moxley, if you're crazy enough to beat Santana, and you're stupid enough. I was like, what?
Yeah, he said, I traveled around the world to find this man, like, and then shot at the vignette, like, and it was Jeff Cobb, and I think everyone popped from the building to online. Everyone went nuts, like, did they sign him? What's the deal with it? He's not signed, but it looks like he's in for a couple shows, which either way, it works because it's like, all right, they're willing to bring people in for a couple shows, and you can do cool stuff with them. Or you have that man on the roster in that AEW House division. What is it looking like, James?
Yeah.
So,
okay, bro. Okay, so we were just talking about Kairi and Asuka and Natty, right? So the match was Natty versus Kairi. And the whole match is Asuka at ringside. And the whole match is like Asuka's doing constant interference. So at one point they get Natty outside the ring with the ref distracted, and Asuka just kicks her fucking head off. Just kicks Natty's head off for the count out win for Kairi Sane. They're celebrating like they just won a Super Bowl. Rich, it's fucking hilarious. Bro, Kairi is such a geek in WWE main roster. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they're doing this to her. Like, I want them in the tag matches again, but it's like, who can they tag against? They're gonna hold them belts forever.
Why? Because they'll never defend them.
Right. Dean Ambrose
just have singles matches.
Dean Ambrose U.S. title reign. Same thing. What are we talking about? AEW?
So Jeff Cobb's coming in up next. MJF and Jungle Boy was out there. Brandy Rose comes out for commentary, squashes it with Excalibur, and adds nothing on commentary except just kind of giving you a one-liner about MJF. But
heaping helping of vanilla.
Yeah. But MJF and Jungle Boy have a pretty good match. It lets you know MJF's not a stiff. Jungle Boy is the future. These two guys are the future. If you look at it, one was 23, the other one's 22. They made sure to push that, hey, maybe this can be a main event down the road one day. And that's always good to see that, people are planning for the future. I believe when AEW first started, I was like, I think I said on the show, I was like, you look at their under 30 roster, I was like, I'll take that in a fucking heartbeat. Like, you're talking about Hangman, you're talking about MJF, Jungle Boy, Private Party, Darby Allin, Sammy G. All I need is like some young guys to get in there, and if there's someone they can get. I don't know how old Warlow is, so we'll see. What he brings to the table, but I like this match. It was cool. they did the bullshit finish at the end with the ring, of course. 1970s, 80s finish, whatever. It's MJF. So, but people liked this match, I think, a lot more than I did. But
I thought it was a good match, and that was it.
Yeah. So after that, Wardlow gave Jungle Boy like this twist in F5. Then Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt came out. Maybe, Luchasaurus Wardlow face off down the road, whatever.
Is it me, or does Luchasaurus still not look healthy?
He does not.
Yeah.
He has not looked the same since the injury.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how long he'll be toughing through that, but if I were him, I think it'd be wise for him to try to go away and rehab it, as opposed to come out here and try to throw Brazilian kicks and trying to warm that thing up and cool it down. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's best for him, but hamstrings ain't to be played with.
So we got Pac out there training and running and shirtless at night, and
this man is running.
I don't know what the fuck wrong.
This man is running up and down the streets of I'm assuming London town in the dark. Look, on some Jack the Ripper shit, right? And this man shows up and just basically just in the gear.
Yes.
Basically half naked everywhere he goes, oiled up, wet, everywhere he goes down the street, while talking cash shit about how he is the best wrestler in the world. Dude, if you take away the music and the framing and the lighting or whatever else, and you just put the aesthetic, if I wrote out on paper what this promo was, you would swear this is a promo straight out the fucking 80s. What? This is some dude in a dark alley talking shit, and he's shirtless, but he's in wrestling gear, but he's a wrestler, he calls him the best wrestler in the world, he's gonna beat someone's ass. This is some out the 80s, and clearly this dude's on cocaine, right? but no, it's just that's what he brings to the table. Is this dude. Tell me why this man went to the gym dressed and then walked down the street and was naked.
Yeah.
Pac is so ridiculous. I love him.
I like to believe that Pac just walks in the building fully dressed already in the underwear gear. He has no locker room. He just walks in, walks out, and then goes back to training and being like Clover Lang or some shit.
I think Pac wears no shirt is Pac wears no shirt, Randy Orton wears no shirt, and Braun Strowman can't read are my three favorite totally made up things that I came up with my mind from watching them enough. There's I don't want anyone to break this. I want to believe these things, even though I know these are not true at all. But I want to believe these three things.
Yep. So 2 weeks, Iron Man match, him and Kenny.
Can't wait.
Then they make the announcement, Paige and Kenny defend the AEW World Tag Belts against the Lucha Bros. Of course, there's a Battle Royal coming up this week. The winner of the Battle Royal will assumably face the winner of this match here. So they up next was the main event, Moxley and Santana, and this was very good.
Good-ass match.
And Santana ended up getting his eye took out. He came out with the Puerto Rican eye patch. Loved it. What up, Jeremy? Called it ahead of time. Always ahead. And it's just yeah, man. Moxley's running through this faction right now, and it's this is a fucking karate movie that's happening right now. You're going through all these fuckers to get to the master or whatever.
Yeah. And
can you beat the master at the end? So this is another extremely well booked storyline with these guys. You feel like you see everything kind of coming a mile away, but it all makes sense and it's all for a reason. There was a reason for Ortiz to end up fighting him. There's a reason for Santana to end up fighting him. These could have been throwaway nothing matches. How many of these have we ever seen or whatever? But every match kind of felt like another chapter going forward. And this is the long form
storytelling.
This is the long form storyline.
Look at the tapestry, Rich. And I don't mean that ironically like I normally do when people fuck up stories.
This is the playbook for AEW right here.
And you look at Moxley and you think of obviously the match he had that weekend, and then he comes in for the Wednesday show, and he has this two wrestlers, two eyes match with Santana, and we always talk about Moxley versus Ambrose, and how the difference is like he's not a dumbass and there's a random wacko. He actually has like thought put into his matches, and you like the spots he did where like they tease like that Santana was gonna shove his good eye first into the corner of the steel steps. Like that's ingenious. Like the idea where like they set up, you blind me in one eye, I blind one of your dudes in one eye. We have a one eye versus one eye match, and then the end of it. Like, because of interference, they both end up blind, or Moxley ends up blind. He ends up poking his eye out. They end up both blind. And basically, like they're both feeling each other. He finds him first. He hits him with the paradigm shift. And win. That's great storytelling,
bro. Like the Snake Roberts Rick Martel match broke out at the end of that bitch. God. I love the blindfold match. Like
I never saw that match. I just heard and it was like, this is too goofy.
It's fucking hilarious. But it's like a master in, like it's a master psychology match. But
okay,
this is awesome. But Inner Circle hits the ring, beats that ass, and then they call out Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb's music hits, comes in, drops him with the Torrid Islands, and that
finisher.
Bro, Bret Hart didn't think Jeff Cobb's hair was so wet that Bret Hart had to salute. So
the Shield thought that man was too wet.
Correct. And it was like, it was like they dropped him, they beat him, and you got to run Cobb Moxley next week. Of course, with the Battle Royal, there's also that tag match and Cody versus Wardlow in the steel cage. What are we expecting out of Cody and Wardlow in the steel cage? There is no escape.
Well, first, before we get to that, Rollins is out to do his, he's doing the Monday Night Messiah thing because he's a cult leader now, and he is cutting a sermon right now. That's what he's calling it. And it looks very similar to the when he did the 2014 eulogy after he murdered Ambrose by curb stomping him through cinder blocks. Anyway, he is out here, no shirt on, with a jacket that has fur on the lapels. Rich, he is literally Dean Ambrose from last year around this time.
Yes, and he's wearing a black one though, right?
Right, he's wearing all black, and the fur is black. But it's like you have come what you hated, and this is not like storytelling. This is just like, this is the idea of what we have all heels dressed like. And like, luckily, like he's evolved past the point where like he's wearing like a black shirt with a black jacket and black slacks. He's now like, I gotta do a little something of my own. All right, let's put fur on the lapels. Anyway,
I feel no sorrow for Seth Rollins.
Say again.
I feel no sorrow for Seth Rollins.
Hey, look, he getting the check. He capping for him. That's on him.
Yep, this is what he want.
Yeah. Like, if he's frustrated, I feel bad for your frustration. Shouldn't have came out here with that bullshit. Look, whatever happens to Ricochet, I hope the best for Ricochet. I hope Ricochet never has a bad day in his life. But
you sound happy where you at.
No one told you to come out here and lie on behalf of this company. The only thing this company asks you to do is show up to work and shake hands and smile. That's all it asks you to do.
And don't break the law. Like,
yeah, that too, of course. Morals. Have some morals. Yeah. So, anyway, on to the cage match with no rules. With no escape rule. This is what I fully expect. And if I don't hear this, I'm going in on Jim Ross. What I expect is for Cody at some point to climb that cage, and he's going to moonsault off of it onto Wardlow. And what I better expect to hear from Jim Ross is, I want to hear after Cody gets Wardlow off his feet and he starts to climb, I want to hear him say that what the fuck is Cody doing? He's a goddamn dummy for not going for the pin. If he doesn't, I'm going to kill him for picking and choosing who's a dumbass for not covering people immediately when they know, then the wrestler knows that this person is going to kick out, so I need to get in position to put them away with something else. That's all this is with psychology. So we're going to tune in and we're going to see.
That's funny.
We're going to see. Because when it's Hangman or it's Cody, he don't say that they fools for setting up for the moves. It's just whatever else. But when it's Shannon or Hayashishita, oh no, you must cover somebody right now, even if you about to fall out your damn self from the hard wrestling you just did with another valuable, strong opponent. jackass. I'm sorry I turned this to what it was, but yeah, like I think it's gonna be a good match, a cage match. You can get away with just ramming people into the cage or whatever else. Hopefully it's planned out very well. Cody's really good with plans. Hopefully he ain't do too many plans, but you get my drift. But I hope they have a good match. I really do.
And they built Wardlow up for a real long time. I imagine that he's going to be prepared. He looks like a great athlete from the gym videos they're putting out from him. Some reason I'm under the impression he can do flips, but yeah. So I'm sure that he's been around since like right after Full Gear. So I imagine that they've been saying, yeah. And think about how long it's been advertised. So yeah, you better be ready for try to have a match of your life. So at this point, so yeah, it was a hell of a week for AEW. Bad week for the contingent.
Yeah. What? It's the also next week we have the tag match: Lucha Bros versus Hangman and Pac. Hangman
and Kenny. Yep. So, and the reason that one was set up, obviously, that 8-man tag they had a week before, they ended up getting the pin on Hangman. Right. They were also the last team to beat Kenny and Hangman, who have had to struggle. They haven't just been, shot to the belts. Like, they had to lose along the way and really try to come together. But there's a lot going on with the Hangman and storyline and all that. But I think it'll all be a little bit more clear when we figure out if the Bucks can win the Battle Royal.
Hey man, I want. Yeah, we can get to the Battle Royal in a second, but like I was really concerned on the fact that like we're getting like Kenny Omega versus the fucking Lucha Bros. Like we're gonna get Kenny Omega versus Phoenix again at some point. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait for that match. I think this is like number one thing on the Dynamite card for next week. Like if I could look through like NXT and that, like I would say that match and then Roddy and Velveteen would be my top two things. After that, it'd probably be I'd probably say the oh my god, what's it called? Oh, the Leo Rush and Jordan Devlin, because like those two tiny motherfuckers special. So I can't wait to see that. But yeah, like you think it's Young Bucks for sure, or you think they're gonna throw a curveball?
I think it's the Young Bucks.
I mean, is this for sure? Is this sure for the Revolution title match, or is this like for a potential title match and they haven't really said for sure?
It's a Revolution title match.
Okay.
Like you can look at the dates. Like Revolution's 12 days from now. So,
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll have everything locked in at least by next week, and we can try to preview this shit.
Okay. So if it's not the Young Bucks, who could it be besides them?
Proud and Powerful.
Good point. Yeah.
You start looking up and down. They're the only team that Kenny and Heyman haven't wrestled. If they want to, yank the rug, they have Lucha Bros win and LAX win and run that back.
Oh my god!
With them two, and then have another tag match, without the belts. Well, I don't know. I don't think you want to do that because then, So, yeah, I don't think you want to blow both of those programs at once because you can always get the PNP versus Lucha Bros. They're both heels too. What am I talking about? Never mind. I think it's Bucks for sure.
Okay. Was there anything else that was promoted for Wednesday that I'm forgetting?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So Double or Nothing tickets went on sale. They're also announced after the Wednesday after will also be in the same building in Las Vegas. So that's going to be a daunting task to try to sell all those tickets. They haven't sold out yet. I imagine whenever they announce that main event, those tickets will get the fuck out of there. No StarCast this year.
Yeah, apparently it was a money loser last year, which is I found to be pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things where like it don't matter how well you do. It's just like that market price is just so cost prohibitive to where you can't overcome that because like all the other obviously like they did other Starcasts, and they just dropped this one, and they're planning on doing more Starcasts when they're not in Vegas. So it must just be just a market thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really interested on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm ready. This is a big show for them, Atlanta. It's kind of like a mini pay-per-view, and it feels like there's been a couple mini pay-per-views in between, like that one on the first, kind of like last week or the strapping week.
I would say Thanksgiving would be like mini. Yep.
Yeah, there was a couple of those that they like built up. So, yeah, I'm liking the cycle and looking forward to Revolution a lot.
Yeah, like they've bounced back very, very well since that last Dynamite of 2019 when they laid out all of the Elite with the Dark Order. They bounced back mightily. They came back like 4 or 5. Yeah, so can't wait for Wednesday. Can't wait for Wednesday as usual.
I guess only one thing left to do, really, James.
What?
I guess we just gotta hit the music.
Okay, so this weekend in Stardom, I'm trying to think. What's the last thing we talked about? Do we last leave off on the the Corgan Hall show from the 8th? Okay, so few things of note. Jungle Kiona is for sure getting a title shot against Mayu Iwatani for the red belt in Nagoya.
I could only walk around hearing about Jungle Kiona just mumbling Mayu Iwatani under her breath before we had to get her committed as a crazy person. So good thing they giving her a match.
Yeah, like that match is gonna be awesome, and like because that's Sunday, that's this coming Sunday. So like if the way this pops off, right, like Mayu could have like 5 4.5 star matches or better in like the last 8 weeks. Like, she's on a fucking breakneck pace. I don't know how much she's going to last if she keeps that up, but she's on a breakneck pace right now. So, more news, not much, but there was a Future of Stardom title belt match between Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamitani. That's Big Saya, as we affectionately call her. What were your thoughts on the match, Rich?
I thought it was a good match. I would probably say like 3.5, 3.75 maybe. Saya, very aggressive during this match. It felt like she was in control for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And then she got beat at the end. So yep. I was kind of puzzled with that. I thought they were going to switch the belt, but they did not for a reason that happened after the match. Yep. That was the first time I ever saw Saya, so I fucking died laughing at her entrance dance. Oh my god, they got to bring Kagetsu back and rehire her immediately to teach these women how to dance. Like bro. Like bitch, I ran that shit back like 2 or 3 times and damn near fell out the chair.
Okay, so since that's here, okay, so you heard me talk about Big Saya, but you never seen her wrestle. Okay, so she's young.
It felt like Tom was looking in the mirror like, oh, this was me.
Kind of. Yeah, I think from what I saw of Utami, because like she was further along earlier, but not by that much. If we were in a pinch and we said, Mayu, go out there and have a Korakuen main event with Big Saya, I think that Big Saya and her could go out there and have a 4-star match, but they're never going to I don't think they put those type of expectations or that kind of pressure on her yet. But like you can clearly see that like she's like the next. I mean, Utami talked about it. It's like, I was last year's Super Rookie, she's this year's Super Rookie or whatever else. So like this is kind of a special thing. And that's kind of the reason why we all thought like this is the last belt that Queen's Quest has. Like, and it looks like their days are numbered, like being a faction that always has a belt covering them at some point. I thought that Utami selling in this match was great. Like her selling of the knee was like just I loved it, especially after watching like so much wrestling around the world, like, and just not seeing that taken care of or make it to where like you can suspend disbelief that like, you know, you can gut through some type of knee injury or whatever else or whatever happens. Like I thought it was great, or I thought it was a really good match, especially from two people that are like, I think they're both like 21 or so 20, something like both of them, something like that. Yeah, just really good.
And you know, it's like you always got to be developing because someone will retire on your ass or go freelance.
Yep.
Like guess who?
No, okay, so she didn't actually really go freelance yet anyway, but she basically said in her promo was like, yeah, because I've been doing all these shows, it's kind of weird that like I'm not in Stardom right now, but like, and then after the gauntlet match, she was like, everywhere I go, I feel like I am Kagetsu of Stardom when I'm at these different places or whatever else until my retirement show. Her retirement show's on the 26th, I think. So she's like, that's what she's saying or whatever else. But like her pre-match promo was funny. It's like I am freelance Kagetsu. But yeah, back to their match. I thought it was really good, and then at the end, Utami puts her away, and Utami, you know, because their pin eater or one of their pin eaters, Leo Onozaki, is retiring due to injuries, and you know B already left them earlier in the year, so like they were only at that they were gonna be left only 4 deep, so. And they set this up pretty well in the pre-match promo. It was like, you know, she's super rookie. She's the first super rookie since me. Big Saya saying that, you know, she looked up to Utami when she was a trainee. And at the end she says, you know, we're short on numbers. We would like you to join Queen's Quest. Now the thing is, Tam officially / unofficially put her mentee into Stars, and she's been working with Stars for a while, for, you know, like the last month. So she says, you know, I looked up to Utami, so if she wants me, so if she'll have me, I'll go. And you see Tam just sitting there just like,
this was very emotional, by the way.
Yes. And like, it was so well done because like Tam's not freaking out. You just like, you can feel like the hurt on her and like the disappointment. And like, but she's content, and I think a part of that is like, it goes back to the anniversary show match when like they flash back to when Tam got kicked out of Oedo Tai, and then like Tam is like apologizing to Kagetsu for how like she turned out, and I didn't turn out how you expected, and then like Kagetsu's like, you went down the path that you were meant to go down, and as I told you, as you know, you were kicked out of the group when we lost that match. Like, it's up to you to figure out where you go now. I can't help you. And it's like, now she is like big. She went from being like the young chick to the big homie.
That sound like something like in The Wire on season 4, like with one of them kids or whatever. Like,
you know what? You're right. Because remember that was the thing we always talked about with like the 4 kids in season 4. It was like, look at they're all kids from the same neighborhood. You look at like who was Weebay? What was Weebay's son's name?
Michael.
No, that's not Michael.
Naaman.
Yeah, Naaman was an asshole, deserved like the least amount of help because he was such a jerk, but because like he got help or whatever else, like look how his life turned out compared to someone like Dookie or Michael. Yeah. Right? You just like, damn, bro. And you know, like that, you're right. Like, this is like, we're at the point with these in this show, like it was choose your path. And you know, the 2 trainees this year were Big Saya and Itsuki. You know, we talked about Itsuki last week, how Itsuki got her first singles win at the Korakuen show after she, you know, finally debuted in like October, whatever, or November. And they've been, you know, they're aces. They've been going back and forth. They've been tagging at times. When Big Saya won the rookie tournament, she beat her in the semifinal. And like she said, like, look, I'm coming to Queen's Quest, but like I want you to come with me, because it's like me or you, we're you know, 2 peas in the same pod. Like, come with me. And you know, she's also a mentee of Tam's, and she says like, you think it's cool that you just gonna put me on a spot to choose like this? And he said like, look, like you're the super rookie or whatever else, but like my plan isn't to be like riding shotgun with you. Like, my plan is to surpass you. So I'm going to choose Stars. I'm choosing my own path. And like, Tam gets in the ring, and like hugs her. It's just like, thank you for not. It's almost like she was afraid of some like empty nest shit, and she's like, thank you for not leaving me with fucking like Arisa. Like that's almost like thank you for not leaving me, for like, you know, believing in me as almost like a mentor. And it was like so emotional. And then like, you know, Tam's in the ring and like looks at Big Saya, and then like, you know, Utami's telling Stars to scram, and like, you know, and then like she's just staring at Big Saya after that, and she's just like, she gets out the ring and turns around at her and says, I'll see you. Like, I'll see you later. Like, I'll see you somewhere down the road or whatever else. It was like, that was kind of sad, but it's like, I don't know what they're doing with Tam or with this year in particular, but like, the emotion or whatever else, like, is like, up to, like, it's like really melodramatic and it's touching, and like, you feel like these people actually care for each other as they like turn each other and everything. It's really cool. Like, honestly, like, at least since like November, since like the tag league or whatever else, like, I don't know what it is, but like they've really turned up like not just the wrestling part. And I think like, you know, if you're someone who just watches them for week to week like I do, like I get as much enjoyment from the week to week stuff that they do, like the journey leading up to the payoffs or destinations, as much as like I do with AEW Dynamite or NXT. Like I really, you know, and this wasn't the case last year. It was just like more or less like, okay, they do cool things, whatever else, and it's like a really good match factory, but like they're really getting this part down with characters or whatever else.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing, you know, the revamped Queen's Quest is like the
yes. I didn't even think about the logistics parts, but like, you know, we were talking about like they, you know, oh yeah, so Utami wins, and then she says, "I've done everything I can do with this, with the Futures belt. Like I have 6 defenses. I've set the record. I want to go pursue the white and red belt." So she relinquishes the belts, lays it down the middle, and I'm assuming they're gonna have a tournament for it. And like Big Saya or Zumi's gonna win eventually. But yeah, like, but logistics wise, like after they were so going to be like, it's 4 people, and like Azumi was going to be number 3, and like the pin eater would be like 12-year-old, like it's going to be 12-year-old Hina. Like they really needed somebody, and like for them to, you know, we feel like, oh god, they're like starting to not push them as hard. Queen's Quest, like all the young prodigies with Utami and Momo and Azumi, like they're not going to push them, and then like, not so fast. We're going to invest even more in the future and put like the, you know, the next young star as well. So it's like, all right, they haven't completely pulled the plug on them. So, you know, because Queen's Quest is my favorite faction out of the 4. So I'm glad that they're not just going to like become scraps for like Donna Del Mondo and just like leave Io's faction after she left, like just in the, like just leave it and move on. Like they deserve much more than that. Like,
Julia about to overrun this shit.
I would really resent that. Like, okay, so like Momo, like we are breaking up the faction that has Momo Watanabe as leader for Julia, and also Hannah. Okay, can they wrestle half as good as her? Yeah. No. Oh, okay. Like, but yeah. I mean, that's really all I got. Like, I'm just glad that like they put the Super Rookie there, and they also gives a slot for Isuki now to be a pin eater on Stars. They elevate like Little Saya on the Star side as well from just being a pin eater. So I think it's really cool, and obviously we still have the draft. I think if we get the draft, but that'll be a few months from now.
Oh yeah, that's in March, right?
Last year it was mid-April.
Oh no, it's after. Yeah.
Last year's mid-April.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it all this week.
One other thing. Kagetsu's gauntlet match. The Godzilla horn hit, and I immediately knew what that was. Hiroyo Matsumoto showed back up at Stardom for the 1-minute gauntlet match, and she put Kagetsu over her on purpose. And like we haven't seen Hiroyo in Stardom in I think a couple years, like probably like 2017, 2016. So with, you know, all the Marvelous talk and Takumi Iroha and like with Donna D'Amato bringing in freelancers from other promotions, whatever else. I would love to see Hiroyo Matsumoto back in Stardom. I would love to see her go out there and have a Hoss match with Utami or with Jungle. I would love that. So, yeah, just hope, wishful thinking. Fingers crossed. Hope that she's part of the the Bushi Road expansion.
I mean, they got money.
Yes, yeah, they do. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this. Be sure to tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Also, check out our friends at Powerslam.tv, the independent sponsor of the show. If they have over 5,000 hours of footage from all across the world, you can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. Be sure to check out Social Suplex. ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out the rest of the shows on the network. On Sundays, most of the time, we have One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. On every other Wednesday, we have Grown and Watch This Shit. On Fridays, is it Fridays or Thursdays, Rich?
Fridays.
On Fridays, we have Get in the Ring, and on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite, which is funny because, like, we did a longer AEW review this week than they did. Like, get well soon, Floyd, because Floyd's sick, bruh. So I hope he gets better.
For sure.
Yeah. You gotta get him one of the high-end, fancy Japanese face masks.
Yep, the Don Callis joint, the black joint. So, make sure y'all leave a donation for us. If you want to sign up, you can go to Red Circle and click the link for the show. Totally up to you guys, but yeah. So, anything else before we roll about this whole?
No, I think that's it, man.
That is it. So yeah, we'll holla at y'all. And like Kyrie Irving, we run this shit.
Oh my god! Can't believe it. Later.
Peace.